Welcome back to Hawkeye Skunkworks, and yes, we are back with the Xterra yet again. Now that all of the little things are sorted out on it, I figured since we've never really done a real thorough overview and we haven't really had a driving experience with it, I thought now that it's more or less sorted, we should take a walk around, talk about how it's built, what it's got going on, and then take it for a quick drive to see if maybe you guys should consider buying a Nissan Xterra. We are going to do something that has never been done before. The cheapest third-gen Toyota 4Runner in the entire country. I have bought another 4Runner.
Dad, everything is blowing!
And that, my friends, is one of the greatest parts about being here. Okay, well, I guess we can dive right into it. This is a 2005 Nissan Xterra off-road edition. That means it's got some extra skid plates. It does have an electronic locking rear differential, which is really cool. This was the first year of the new body style for the Xterra, and it ran for the next 10, 11 years. Under the hood, there is a 4-liter V6. So far, this has been a very good engine. It's got about 125,000 miles on it. Yes, these engines occasionally have some issues with the timing chains. The tensioners need to be replaced, but over the last couple decades, any overhead cam engine that has timing chains or timing belts needs maintenance. So it's about staying on top of maintenance, realizing when they need to be replaced, and getting them replaced before it becomes a larger issue. I will say this is a very smooth running engine. It's got plenty of power. I'd say it's very comparable to my 05 4Runner. It is louder. I don't know if it's just because there's a difference in sound deadening in the firewall. I feel like a lot of it is induction and vacuum noise, which the intake is on the driver's side on this as opposed to my 4Runner, which is over here. And it could just be part of that, but overall, even though it is a very smooth, good running engine, it is a little bit louder. There's a little bit more mechanical noise, a little bit more feel, which I personally don't mind, but that is a difference between this and, for my example, my 4Runner. Right now it is currently sitting on 265 75 16 Kumhos, so it's about a 31.5 inch tire. It does have the Rancho quick struts on the front, like I've mentioned before, with the adjustable damping and the matching shocks in the rear. It does have leaf springs in the rear, which I'm a fan of. I like it. It's simple, they do the job. You can kind of tell it's starting to sag just a little bit in the back. Gonna hopefully talk that into a shackle or an add a leaf or maybe a new set of springs altogether, which I think will make it ride much better. I believe that rear axle is a Dana 44 variant. It's a solid axle in the back. Feels like probably right around a 373 gear. Again, all very much normal stuff for an SUV in this year, era, and in this class. As far as the interior is concerned, this particular one has cloth seats, as we've talked about in previous episodes. The layout of the interior is really well. We've got cup holders, a handbrake down here. We've got some storage in the center console area. The center console armrest area itself, in my opinion, is too small. The storage is not enough. This armrest doesn't come out further. I think they could have rearranged this better. There's kind of some unused real estate here. I think that could have been better utilized for more storage. There is a fair amount of storage in the door panel, cup holder there, and you can put some stuff underneath the seats, so that's cool. Glove box. There's actually two glove boxes. There's a lower and an upper, which I really like. Very simple controls, dials here. You've got a knob or a dial for your four-wheel drive, your lockers, some stability control stuff there. Gauge cluster is very nice. You've got your stalks for windshield wipers and your headlights. We've got cruise control stuff there. overall, the layout is fantastic, and actually, the seating position for the driver's seat, I prefer over my 4Runner. The seat is just a little bit higher, just a little bit further back, which gives you kind of, I call it, it's like driving a tractor, so you're sitting up high and your legs are down at the pedals, not, your legs aren't straight out in front of you, kind of like a car, and that's the seating position that I prefer, which is actually funny because it's kind of how the 3rd Gen 4Runners are and the 5th Gen 4Runners, but not the 4th Gen 4Runners. So the one drawback that I have with this interior is there's a lot of plastic. I mean, a lot of plastic, and this is all hard plastic. I know a lot of interiors now have a lot of plastic, but like none of this is even, so there's one, this is kind of a softer bit there. This is plastic, that's plastic, that's plastic, that's plastic. The entire dashboard, plastic, you know, surround is plastic, all of that is plastic. None of it is even attempting to be like vinyl wrapped, slightly softer, fake leather looking stuff. Center console, all plastic. The armrest is kind of a vinyl-y plastic. It's padded, it is very nice, it's comfortable, no complaints there. But that is one of the biggest drawbacks for me, is the interior quality is just not as good as other things in this class, I suppose. Stadium style rear seating a little bit, so it's got an elevated seat. Plenty of room back there. Trunk is a good size. It's not quite as big as my Explorer, maybe not quite as big as my 4Runner, but it is a good amount of space, and the overhang is not terrible like my 4Runner and my Explorer. So there is the interior kind of in a nutshell. All right, well, now that we've kind of gone briefly over everything, interior, exterior, drivetrain, I suppose what we need to do is hop in it, take it for a drive, and then I can kind of give you my thoughts on how it performs, how it drives, and whether or not you guys should consider one, because I'm constantly getting asked, should I buy an Explorer? Should I buy a 4Runner? Should I buy a Grand Cherokee? Well, I think I've got a really good other option. I'm going to say second option, and I'm going to explain that in a minute. What do I mean by a good second choice? Now, I'm constantly getting asked, out of the vehicles that I have, what would I recommend, this or that? Most of the time, it's a 4Runner or an Explorer, a 4Runner or a Grand Cherokee, because that's, as you know, that's the stuff that I have. Now, it really depends on your budget and what you plan to do with it. Obviously, you can afford a little bit more. I 110% recommend a really nice 3rd Gen or 4th Gen 4Runner. Those are the two that I have. And I say if you can afford more money, because at this point, let's face it, a good example of either one of those can be rather pricey. If you are wanting something that's a Jeep, then you have the Grand Cherokee. And if you are wanting a good kind of all-around vehicle, yet know what you're kind of getting into with possible transmission situations with the Explorer, I love my Explorer. I can't recommend that enough, with, you know, some asterisks as far as ownership goes. So by second choice, what I mean is I always recommend a 4Runner. I'm a sellout, I guess. I drank the Kool-Aid, I say it all the time. I'm a fan of the 4Runner platform, 3rd, 4th, 5th Gen, whatever's your pleasure, whatever's your budget. This, however, is a fantastic second choice besides a 4Runner, I think. You get a lot of vehicle for the money, I feel like. Yes, it's got its flaws. There's not as much space in the trunk. The interior is very plasticky, but it's still quality. You know, and people are going to yell at me about issues that these things have. All those vehicles that I just listed have known issues. But you get this is a Japanese engineered vehicle, plenty of power, rides good, drives good, tons of aftermarket support as far as parts and off-road, like high performance, I guess, for lack of a better statement, parts. And there is a massive community and following for these xterras. So it's fantastic. And they are, from what I've seen, at least in my area, for good examples, considerably less expensive than a nice 4Runner. So I think we have a fantastic second option over a 4Runner in kind of this mid-size SUV for mild, moderate off-roading, everyday driver, lots of community support, lots of aftermarket parts support. So far, for what I've done, they've been easy to work on, seem to be well put together, and I'm a fan, yeah. Am I as much of a fan of this as my 4Runner? Absolutely not, but there are some things about this. Like I said, the seating position and the driving position I like better than my 4Runner, so there's that. Sorry about the sun. It's winter in the Midwest. Good lighting does not exist at any point in the day, so there's that. Anyway, I could make a whole video series talking about 4Runner versus xterra or any of those combinations on what I think you should buy and pros and cons. This is just simply addressed to people that are always asking me 4Runner or X because I can't afford a 4Runner. I think Nissan xterra is the answer. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it gave you a little bit of insight into the second gen xterra and everything that it's got going on. And who knows, maybe some of you will end up getting one of these instead of one of the other vehicles that I have, or the countless other vehicles that are out there kind of similar to this. If you have any further information, comments, questions, obviously leave those down in the comments below for myself and for others watching who are interested. And as always, any more detailed or thorough questions or comments, always feel free to email me, hawkeyeskunkworks@gmail.com. It is Sunday evening, the sun is setting. My parents are coming over to my house to visit, well, they're coming over to visit my kids, let's be honest. So I'm gonna hand the keys back over to my dad, and we're gonna find out how long it takes him to catch up on the videos that I filmed before this, for him to see everything that I've done to it. So until next Sunday, follow the links down below over to Instagram and Facebook to follow me over there. Smash that thumbs up button, the like button, turn on the notifications, and obviously subscribe if you haven't already, because we got lots of awesome stuff going on now and coming in the near future. So until next time, thank you for watching. Take care. Goodbye.